Hello and welcome back to Zeke1 Plays. I'm so glad that you've joined me today. Today I'm answering the question, what's the big deal with Pokemon Day and why do people get so excited about it? Let's get into it. Today we're going to be looking back at Pokemon Days that have already happened in the past and also talking about what may happen on Pokemon Day coming up this month in February 2023. Okay? So, what you need to know as background is that Pokemon Day is always, since 2016 when it started, it's been a pretty big event that calls a lot of attention to the world of Pokemon as well as to their different products and properties that they're putting out there, such as the TCG, the video games, and more. You know, other things like shows and merchandise and different things. So every year, there are usually special events and announcements that start or come out or are announced right here on Pokemon Day. The day itself, though, is February 27th, and that is the anniversary of Pokemon Red and Green being released in Japan all those years ago. It'll be 27 years ago this year in 2023. So let's take a look back now in what makes Pokemon Day so important and why we think that it could mean something special in terms of Pokemon news. Well, in 2016, that was the first Pokemon Day that was really broadly promoted and pushed. And in 2016, we got not only the Virtual Console announcement, the release of Red, Green, Blue, and Yellow on Virtual Console on 3DS for everyone. We also got some TCG announcements, but the big reveal of Pokemon Sun and Moon, the first ever premiere of those titles, and what we were looking at for our next Pokemon generation. And so, obviously, 2016, huge deal. I mean, we have a brand new mainline Pokemon game announced. 2017, however, and 18 took some pretty big steps back. 17 had a Pokemon Go event that was live, as well as like some TCG online bonus stuff that you could claim. Also some other small announcements, including a lot of stuff about anime and other things like that. Also, each one of these years, there's usually TV and movie stuff going on in the background. I'm not going to mention all of that because it's not really pertinent to what we're talking about today. But also 2018, there was new merch. Now, jumping forward to 2019, 3 years since the first Pokemon Day. So 2016 was the first one, and that's where we got Sun and Moon. Now in 2019, we got the announcement of Pokemon Sword and Shield here on Pokemon Day. It started on Pokemon Day in 2019, the hype for Sword and Shield, the announcement of the titles, and a look at the games for the first time ever. Flashing forward to 2020, we have it kind of ramping up in terms of material. Pokemon Masters information is given. I think the game was already out at that point, but it's like update stuff was coming out. And then also we had the announcement of a new mythical Pokemon, Zaruda, or Zarude, whatever you call it, and new Dynamax events in Sword and Shield. So these are big things that people were looking forward to being announced here at Pokemon Day. 2021 was the 25th anniversary of Pokemon, and so the biggest thing was the 25th anniversary concert that Post Malone did. It was super cool. And then last year might be the most hyped day of Pokemon Day ever, because it lasted a whole week long, and there were different announcements and things going on every day for the week leading up to February 27th. And so we got Pokemon Masters information. We got new Dynamax news for the wild area. We got Pokemon Go news. We got Pokemon Unite news. I believe that's where Duraludon, possibly even Hoopa, were announced for the game. And finally, on the day, February 27th, we got a Pokemon Presents where they announced, named, and revealed the new titles, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So we see a trend there, 2016, 2019, 2022, with them announcing the new Pokemon titles, one after the next, about 3 years apart. So here we are in 2023. What can we be expecting from Pokemon Day? Well, there's a few things that we know that are definitely going to be announced soon, or that we hope are going to be announced soon, and we're looking forward to news about. And so for one thing, we have received no information concerning any DLC or extra adventure pack or anything like that for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which by this time in Sword and Shield's release cycle, we had news about this already. I believe Sword and Shield released in November of 2019, and then news about the DLC dropped in like January of 2020. So we knew pretty quickly when things were going to be coming out. Now, in terms of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, it's kind of been radio silent since the games came out. And so maybe on Pokemon Day, we could see a DLC announcement. Although I will say that is not something that we've necessarily seen in the past besides small updates for the live service type of games that Pokemon runs. So what is guaranteed? Well, we're probably definitely going to see new information about Terra Raid events and giveaways and mystery gifts and stuff like that going on in the world of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, as well as updates for games like Pokemon Go, Pokemon Unite. Those things are going to get a heavy spotlight during this event for sure. Now, in terms of other things we might possibly could see, going back and looking through the different information, this has been an opportunity where they have presented new games before. So if in 2023 we are getting a brand new Pokemon title, such as a sequel to Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, something like set in Johto, that could be something that could be announced here, as well as maybe another sequel to something more along the lines of Legends Arceus, which would probably not release until at least 2024. But again, both of those things also could be announced more like in June, when the E3 type of announcements are going on. For instance, in the case of, Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu, and also in the case of, what was the other spin-off game? Not spin-off game, but sequel, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. They waited to reveal those until, I believe, May or June. And so typically, if it's not like the mainline new generation, they don't reveal it in February. So that leaves one more item. So another thing that they have set precedents for in the past is the announcement of a new mythical Pokemon. So 3 years ago, we have the announcement of Zaruda, the first main mythical Pokemon released in Pokemon Sword and Shield life cycle. And so here we have no mythical Pokemons announced yet for Scarlet and Violet. And so looking forward to seeing possibly something new in that department coming out of Pokemon Day this year. And maybe like an anime or a movie announcement paired with that, as well as like when the event will be live in the games and when you can get your hands on a new mythical Pokemon for Scarlet and Violet. They could, of course, roll out a mythical Pokemon or a new legendary with the DLC announcement as well. But again, we're kind of waiting and holding our breath to see what will happen. So now it comes to my prediction. What do I think is going to happen? Not just what does the data say and what is probable, but what do I think is going to happen? What do I hope is going to happen? Well, I think that there's going to be announcements, small update announcements for each of their live games right now. So Pokemon Go, Pokemon Unite, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet all will receive updates in terms of details and live service announcements and battle announcements and things like that for sure, just to make sure that every Pokemon fan that's playing a game gets something that they can grab onto. I also think that there will be a new game announcement, whether it be a sequel to a spin-off title or whether it be a DLC announcement for Scarlet and Violet. I think something of that caliber is coming, mostly because there's been radio silence in the games world from Pokemon since the release of Scarlet and Violet, and that is atypical for this time of year. And then finally, one more thing that I think is going to be coming is clarification on information regarding the anime series and kind of the reboot and things that are going along with that. But I do not think we'll be getting any information about a new mythical Pokemon. I believe that's hopeful. I think that it's something a lot of people are excited about, but I don't think that it's going to happen at this Pokemon Day. So what's going to happen at Pokemon Day? I don't really know for sure, but I'm very excited to experience it with you all. And it's going to be coming up here in just, from today, like 26 days. So stay tuned to the channel, and I'll definitely keep you updated on that as we move forward. As always, stay safe and peace out.